Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. At Acasis, innovation drives us. Since 2008, we've been creating cutting-edge technology products that make your life easier. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit Acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today.
Farmhounds offers natural treats and chews made with quality products that support family farms, regenerative agriculture, and humane farming practices. Give your dog the best with wholesome, organic ingredients that promote health and happiness. Shop now at farmhounds.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. From gourmet snacks to unique finds, each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. We are Rogue Media Sports.
We are Rogue Sports. It's the Cam Show. on Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stewart, Zach Burke keeping us on the air. Pete Souza, we're going to hear from later. He is our extraordinary lead into this program. You can catch him 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central Time, live every weekday here on YouTube, just like you can catch us live high noon Eastern Time every day on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts, and segments cut up and put on YouTube, because that's the kind of guy I am. And finally, it feels like I'm celebrating my team doing something well. Oh, Cam, you're such a little bitch. The Celtics just won the NBA title last year. I know that. It was pretty sucky since then. Patriots, awful. Red Sox, peter out in August again. Bruins, looking towards a rebuild. I know you say it's a retool. I say it's a rebuild on the horizon for the Bruins. And finally, and by the way, the Celtics at times not playing well this year. I think they're back, but at times not playing well. And who cares about regular season basketball? But last night, it felt like I got a championship victory. It really did, because I was glued into the TV. Second Monday night in February. It's my favorite sports tournament of the year, and order is restored. The BU Terriers are the 2025 Beanpot champions. Yes! Roll Dogs, baby. They beat BC, number 1 ranked BC, 4-1 on the night. Terrific game. Even though the scoreline would say it probably wasn't. It was a great game. BC totally dominates the first period, but they're only up 1-0. In the second, BU scores 2 in 1:10. Then in the third, Cole Iserman, one of the best players on the ice in what is going to be a star-studded roster for both teams. Cole Iserman with the steal in the offensive zone off a lazy play from BC, scores on a breakaway, and then they score a 200-foot empty netter. Unbelievable hockey. Best hockey that's being played in that building all year has been this Beanpot, and will be again for the Hockey East Championships. It will not be any game the Bruins are playing, I'll tell you that much. And I say about these BU-BC matchups this year, keep the rosters. When I would go to Cape League games as a kid, my dad would always say, keep the roster. Keep it for 5 years and then look back at it and see all these major leaguers you saw there. If you're watching BU-BC this year, the talent is off the charts. You would have saw them win the World Junior Championships, which is the only other championship feeling I've had here in 2025 in the 42 days of 2025. But you look back at this roster, man. When you see Cole Iserman, Cole Hudson, Mikhail Yegorov, who was awesome in goal, Matthew Caron, a pretty good goaltender himself, a Bruins draft pick, Jacob Fowler for BC, their goalie, probably the best goalie in the country. Plus, they've got that awesome line, that Screaming Eagles line from the World Juniors with Ryan Leonard and Gabe Perreault. Like, all these guys are first-round picks. Teddy Stiga scored the winner in the World Juniors. Dean Letourneau, who's buried down on this. He only has 2 points this year, and yet they're calling it the Dean Pot for some reason. He's a first-round pick. Now, he's a first-round pick by the Bruins, so I don't know how much that counts, with their drafting prowess. But just look back at these rosters in like 5 years, and you'll be like, my God, we were watching an NHL All-Star game in the Bean Pot. And BU wins it for a record 32nd time. It was good. All was good, man. It was what a hockey game too. And best yet, there was a banner in the BC student section. There must have been some plants out there, because they start unveiling this banner pregame and they start waving it, and it just says BC sucks. Send them back to Newton, baby. This thing's staying in Boston, baby. Oh, what a night. Jay Pandolfo has been to 2 Frozen Fours, and yet he said this is the winning the Bean Pot. That's what you got to do, man. 2 things you got to do at BU. You got to beat BC, you got to win the Bean Pot. National championship 3rd. And now you've knocked out 2 of those in one night. So I won't go on talking college hockey this whole show, but golly, do I love the Bean Pot. I can't wait to go back to the Bean Pot. And it was so awesome to see to see this Terriers team win it. I still don't know if they're as good a team as BC. I think top to bottom, BC is still going to be one tough out when it comes to the NCAA tournament. BU's a little bit streaky, but they had the numbers last night. Whenever these two teams, outside of 1948 when BC won the national championship because the Beanpot did not exist yet, for each of those teams, that would be their remaining 9 national championships between them. Each year, they won the Beanpot first. So that's just the start of things. Just the start of things. Golly, I love that tournament. Love it. And we had a kid from Rockland as the honorary captain. That was awesome. Anyway, I got more to talk about. We got Pete Souza in the second segment. We're going to talk a little Brady then, but I do want to talk about the Red Sox. Here on the Cam Show, we've been neglecting the Red Sox offseason, mainly because there hasn't been much going on. You know, they make the Garrett Crochet trade, and I still like the trade, but, it's still pretty indicative of what this ownership group is going to do. They're not going to spend money. They're not going to pay the premium for the premium free agents. And they're sticking with this model that worked for them 20 years ago and 15 years ago of we're not going to spend for pitchers on the wrong side of 30. And yet everyone else in the league is doing it. And the teams, well, I shouldn't say everyone else. The teams that are winning in this league are doing it. But the Red Sox are about to become, a Pittsburgh Pirates organization. I don't know if you guys saw the stat recently. Ivan Nova was the last free agent to sign a multi-year deal with the Pirates. He did it in 2016. Harambe was still in the news the last time the Pirates signed a free agent to a multi-year deal. Don't become that. Don't become that. Because what they're doing is, again, they make this trade for Crochet, and everyone knows how nasty he can be. And you're like, okay, that's good enough. Then they went out and got somebody. But yet we know Blake Snell's won 2 Cy Young Awards. And they don't go out and get him. Corbin Burns is still one of the best pitchers in the American League. You didn't go out and get him. So it's like, yeah, you spent 5 or 6 years building up your farm system just so you could trade 2 of them away because you don't want to spend any goddamn money. And now it's between Alex Bregman and Nolan Arenado. Which way do you think they're going to go? One costs you money, one does not. Bregman's still holding out for the 6-7 year deal. It's tough for me to see him getting it, but maybe he does. And instead, they're probably going to trade for Nolan Arenado. And I think that's such a mistake. And I love Nolan Arenado, genuinely. Since he's come in the league, he's been one of my favorite players. But this is not the Nolan Arenado of even 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, he was halfway to a 30 home run guy this year, let alone a 40 home run guy. Those days are over. And if you can't see the significant dip in his numbers in the last 2 years, then I don't know how you could be running an organization and making a trade for this guy. Is he still an excellent fielder? Yes. Yes. And the Red Sox do need some help there. But most importantly, they need a middle-of-the-order right-handed bat. And 3 years ago, Nolan Arenado would have given you both those things at an MVP caliber level. This year, Alex Bregman still gives you some pretty good defense and is still a good hitter. His numbers have been going down too, but not the way that this is for Arenado. We're talking about a guy who played 152 games last year and hit 16 homers with 71 RBI. That's not good enough, man. He still doesn't strike out, which is great, but he struck out the most times of his career, or excuse me, second most times of his career, or second most times. He had 101, 23, and 92 in 24. He doesn't hit for power anymore. 39 extra base hits in 152 games. That's not good enough, man. His OPS plus has dropped by 50 points in the last 2 years to where it's at 101 right now. You know what that tells me? Should tell you the same thing. He's a league average hitter. League average. You have those guys. You have league average hitters. You don't need to be going and trading for one. That's just asinine. Okay? His OPS itself, not even the plus, the OPS has dropped by over 160 points in the last 2 years. His slugging has dropped by 150 points. His on-base percentage has dropped by 35 points. And if you're still into batting average, that's dropped by 20 points the last 2 years. If you're still into that kind of thing. And then I know some people think this is stat nerd stuff. This is baseline level. Because you want to get into the stat nerd stuff, it's even worse, man. His ex-WOBA, his WOBA, which I love that stat. It weights everything that you have, so it's not just a single is not worth the same as a triple. His WOBA in 2022 was 381. It was in the top 3% of the league. It has dropped by over 65 points. Like, we're talking about a league average hitter. His base running value, not good. His batting run value, about dead in the average, 60th percentile in the league. His strikeout percentage is still 92nd. Good for him. Bat speed, 28th percentile, man. How is he supposed to barrel anything? Oh, wait, he doesn't. His barrel rate is 6%. His hard hit was 12% this year. He's not spraying the ball all over the field anymore. He's 33 years old. He's done, man. He's not worth it. And that sucks. 3 years ago, I would have killed for Nolan Arenado to be on my team. I'd give him almost anything to get him. But he's not that player. You're bringing in a defensive specialist here who's no better a hitter than Ceddanne Rafaela is. So I don't understand where this hype is coming from, because there are some Red Sox fans out there who are real into the Nolan Arenado experience. And the only one outside of some of your fans who's more excited about Nolan Arenado to the Red Sox is Nolan Arenado. He just posted this random video the other day of Manny Ramirez hitting a homer for the Red Sox. Oh, okay. That's desperate. It's not a good move. I don't want to do 6 years of Bregman at age 31, but I would rather do 6 years of Bregman than to trade assets for Nolan Arenado. It could be an interesting ploy for Breslow, because if it's anything like pitching, that ownership saying, no, we're not spending money on Alex Bregman. You got to work out a deal for Nolan Arenado, because you should be able to get him for 25 cents on the dollar here, 30 cents on the dollar. St. Louis desperately wants to offload him. They've made that pretty clear. Their GM is not saying, the GM and their owners are not saying like, hey, we're really getting rid of him. But it's like, hey, we're optimistic towards getting a deal for him. They want him gone. Of course they do. The Cardinals are in an interesting position. They kind of want to rebuild, but that NL Central is wide the fuck open. Wide open. So they might even find some guys off your 40 that you don't want anymore. I doubt that there's one that's worth trading Nolan Arenado for, or trading to get Nolan Arenado. But I don't see it. I don't see why some Red Sox fans are all in on this. I don't know why the team keeps entertaining this, because everywhere you look, every report is Red Sox still in on Nolan Arenado. It's Red Sox or bust for Nolan Arenado, and the reports will be, hey, looking at Bregman and Nolan Arenado. It's just such a waste. And if you went into this offseason with the money that you finally have, and you walk away from it. If you walk away from it with Garrett Crochet, Aroldis Chapman, and Nolan Arenado, that is a grade A failure. It's like me in math in high school, bro. It's nothing but an F. Like, it wasn't going to be anything else but an F. That is a total failure for a team that once again said, hey, we're going to be all in, or we're going to be, everyone around the league is saying the Red Sox are going to be in on some guys this year. The fuck they are. If that's what you walk away with, no team can take you seriously in the market ever again. No player, no agent can take you seriously in the free agent market. If you go into this offseason saying, you're going to push your chips to the middle of the table here, and you walk away with Garrett Crochet, Aroldis Chapman, and Nolan Arenado, no one will take you serious. Do I think Arenado can boost his numbers a little bit with that Fenway left field? Maybe, yeah. But then what does he become? A little bit better than a league average hitter? That's what you're going to go trade for at this point? I don't think it moves the needle for you at all. I don't think it makes you any better. But hey, what do I know? 2021, would have loved to have Nolan Arenado. Loved it. Sell the farm for him. It's not the case anymore. It's not the case anymore. And if you had told me that Tom Brady would have been a good broadcaster, I probably would have been skeptical. It turns out, R.A. Stewart, right again, just like I am all the time. So is Pete Souza. We're going to have him on the show coming up next. I'm going to take a dump during the commercial break, and then we'll come back with Pete. We'll talk some Tom Brady. We'll talk a little bit of Super Bowl as well. That's next on The Camp Show.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. BizChair.com, your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. Level up your game with Corsair, the global leader in high-performance gear for gamers, content creators, and PC enthusiasts. From award-winning PC components to premium streaming equipment, smart lighting, and esports coaching services, Corsair delivers an ecosystem designed for peak performance. Whether you're a casual gamer or a pro, alleviate your setup with Corsair. Shop now at Corsair.com. That's Corsair.com. Corsair. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's golfpartnerusa.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
It is the Cam Show. It's Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stewart here, Zach Burke keeping us on the air. We're going to have Pete Souza in just a minute here on the Cam Show. He's had a big weekend, man. Big weekend. Not the least of which being his Birds. Birds winning the Super Bowl, which I do want to talk to him about. Want to talk some Tom Brady with him. But I can't get over these Red Sox fans wanting Nolan Arenado. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Celtics beating the Heat last night pretty convincingly in the, what do they call it now? The Kaseya Center, I believe, in Miami. It's no longer the AAA, the American Airlines Arena, which was always confusing, like in that 2011 finals when you went from the American Airlines Arena to the American Airlines Center in Dallas. But Celtics keep on rolling, dude. They could well be just so back here. And Pete's Sixers are dog shit. Absolute dog shit, man. But this is 2 nice wins in a row. Miami's not a great team, but a team that you struggled with in the past. You had another big game out of Tatum, 33, I want to say. Got 40 from him in that game against the Knicks on Saturday. Let's bring Pete in here because I want his opinion on this. Pete, before we get into the other stuff that we're going to talk about, I talked with Zach yesterday. I asked him this question. I know you're a big fan of this team. Are the New York Knicks an overrated brand, an overrated franchise?
Oh, 100%, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love them. I love, like, they're like, the Cowboys, the Knicks, the Yankees, the Lakers. As much as, like, people
who couldn't love those teams.
No, I don't. As much as people sports hate on them, when they're good, it's better. I'm just telling you, it's better because when your team's out of it, you're more likely to watch the Knicks and the Lakers square off, or the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series, like we saw, than a couple of teams from Middle America. I'm not trying to take away from those fan bases, but it's just a fact. And the Knicks are the one.
Talking to someone in Middle America right now, by the way. These are my people.
There's a lot of things that we're in flyover states.
Yeah.
But I love the Knicks brand. I love their logo. I love how their market is so huge. Every night at the Garden is sold out. That's cool, man. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, it just sucks that it's like $400 to go there.
Yeah, it does.
The real fans. Pete, congratulations, by the way. Big weekend for you. Eagles winning the Super Bowl is nice, but you also put a ring on it. Congrats, Pete.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I got here as fast as I could.
How did it go down? How did you do it?
So, great question.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
I had the Colorado-Houston game, and Christy was with me. And so I knew I wanted to do it on that trip. I didn't want to do, have like the fucking dress up like the Colorado mascot and propose to her.
That would have been great.
I wanted to do it like before dinner. I noticed during the broadcast that I was nervous, and it wasn't because of the game. It was because I was about to propose. So that was like interesting. I was like, shit, I should have done this last night, but whatever. And then after the game, we were driving to dinner, and she was driving, and I said, hey, pull over down here. I think this is a trail that I ran by today. Because at this point, I'm just bugging. I just want to get it over. And I saw this like beautiful trail.
Of course, you're in Boulder, so one of the most beautiful places in America. So
it was cool. So we go down to this trail, and she's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, no, we just want to see if, like where I was running today. I don't know. And then before I knew it, I was on a knee, and she says that I just handed her the box, which I can't really dispute because I sort of blacked out.
You didn't even ask?
I mean, I did ask. Yeah, I said, I love walking with you. I would like for you to walk through the rest of life with me. Will you marry me? And then but I didn't put the ring on her finger. All right, Cam. I didn't put the ring right on her finger.
Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah, I was pumped. I'm pumped. It's like, It was the easiest decision I ever made. It was just a matter of like having the balls to like get it all together, because you got to get it somewhat organized, which I'm not great at. You got to.
Neither am I. I'm dreading that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Cam, it's coming soon. I got a feeling.
I guess. Pete Souza out in the free agent market, long-term contract. Love that for Pete. Love that for Pete. Kind of like the long-term contract Fox signed Tom Brady to a couple of years ago, actually. Do you think they're getting their money's worth there, Pete? You think that was a good investment, a couple $100 million he's getting?
I know this. I know that on Sunday, I would have, without question, rather had Tony Romo or Troy Aikman or Chris Collinsworth. Like, he is at the way bottom of my list on A-team broadcasters, to the point where, there's other guys I would take, obviously, from other crews and put ahead of him. Now,
is this because you took a shot at your boy Sirianni as the clock was winding down? Did you hear that, though? That was good. He was like, "What? I wonder what he's going to yell at the fans today, or something like that. Like, where does he have the fans to yell at?" He was trying to make a joke, but it was funny.
I want to be very clear. He's gotten better, and he's likable. He's like, you can tell, like, he's been way more fun as the season has gone on, and it's not necessarily fair to him to judge him right now because Troy Aikman's been doing this for 20 plus years, and Tom Brady's been doing it for 6 months, and I still believe that his balls have yet to drop as a broadcaster. Like, and it's crazy to say that. Yeah. What'd you say?
Or in general, yeah.
They have.
I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she has the question in the middle of the game that I think everyone's asked on a Brady broadcast this season that's not way tuned into football. She goes, "Is that really his voice?" I was like, "Yeah, that's really his voice." Yeah.
But it's not. And here's what I mean by that. And you can agree, having called many games. There is a tension in your voice before you're comfortable on the air that you can carry with you for years. Dude, I watched, and I'll share it with you sometime. It'd be a matter of getting it. When I was with the Charlotte Hornets doing, like, I did a virtual pregame show, like on the web, on the World Wide Web.
That's what they would have said back then, yeah. It was a little web show, Pete.
Yeah, it was
You're
a web.
Our young guy. Can we get you hyping up the web here?
So there was like we would go to shoot-arounds and talk to players and stuff. And so I'm interviewing David Wesley about what it's like to play back in Charlotte, or what it's like to be back in Charlotte. He was a broadcaster for New Orleans. Maybe he still is. But he played in Charlotte. They were back to being the Hornets. And I'm like, David, how much does it mean for you to be back here covering? And it's like, dude, I didn't talk like that then. I mean, this is like 11 years ago.
I really want one of these like full-length pregame shows.
I'll send you this clip. I mean, it's hilarious.
Great,
and honestly, the point is, like, I'm actually pretty good. Like, I'm prepared. I know what I'm going to ask him. I'm smiling, but this is still not with the rest of my thing. And I think that that's what Tom Brady is dealing with a little bit of right now. There is a little tension in his vocal cords that we hear. That is not his voice, is what I'm saying. Like, if you hear him talking, even over leading up to the Super Bowl, was a brilliant interview he had with Colin Cowherd when he was talking about, and this speaks to, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the preparation of the Super Bowl. And that to me is great stuff.
Like, and that's why Mahomes lost, and that's why Brady lost to the Giants that one year. Because if you can rush a guy like that with 4, you're kind of leaving. He's got a lot of questions now, because when you go up to the line of scrimmage, you're like, okay, there's not much going on here that I can take advantage of, right? Like, that's what Brady talked about. Like, when in his Super Bowls and in his games in his career, when he walked up to the line of scrimmage, he knew what was going on before he snapped the ball. He could diagnose probably who was going to get the ball, right? Like, it's different when they're just rushing 4 and they're getting after your ass. But even in that clip where he's talking to Cowherd, he's a little more comfortable, and his voice is a little lower. Now, that's seriously inside baseball, but that's what I've experienced myself.
So I heard someone lob this criticism at him a few weeks ago, actually. And they said, like, I think he talks too much about his own career. Like, whenever it was a playoff game, so it was a couple weeks ago. They were like, he kept talking about how when he was in the situation and this with the Patriots and like, it's like, shut up. I'm like, but isn't that what you want? Isn't that exactly what, like here, like he's not a great commentator, right? He's not a great analyst, but what you have is someone who has been in this situation more than anyone in the sport. Like that is exactly what I want. In fact, that's the only good thing I found, like really consistently good.
Cam, that's all I want.
That's all I care about, man.
That's all I want. Now, I think
Tony's great, but he's never played in a Super Bowl. And that doesn't mean he's not a good analyst.
Oh.
But now you have a guy who's like this Cowherd interview, like, no, my preparation for the Super Bowl was wall to wall. That's why this is why I beat Kansas City that year, because I knew everything and blah, blah, blah. Like, I want that shit.
Here's what I'll tell you. As far as he is concerned, I think he talks too much. And I think people are mixing their criticism in with something that actually is positive, but the line gets blurred because he is very chatty. And so he's just constantly talking. I think really it would behoove him if he talked a little less. And look, again, like this, we're splitting hairs here. I mean, big time, but it is fun to talk about. And
that's why we do it, baby.
Yeah, and
he's like the new sports reporters kind of thing.
He's gonna get. I do. By the way, I watched ESPN. We'll get back to Brady, and they had a sports reporters, right? Like their new sports reporters. So I turned it on, and it was, they're already. It's one guy in a box here, one guy in a box here. That's not the sports reporters. I yelled at the screen. The sports reporters is 5 guys or 4 guys sitting together doing this. I don't want the virtual anymore. That's not my sports reporters.
Have you seen like the old Chicago one that ESPN based it off of, where they're like they're like smoking,
like
ripping cigars, and they're all
in Philly. We had it. They called it the Great Sports Debate, and we piggybacked off the Chicago one, and it was on Prism where you could watch the Sixers. It was like a cable channel. You watch the Sixers and the Flyers and the Phillies, and it was amazing. Me and my buddies used to do VHS on camcorder, our own Great Sports Debate.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so
I was still in Waco. We should definitely do that.
Oh,
we should have had cigars and everything. Like,
could you imagine? Mosley would
down to here. Oh, Mosley would do that. Mosley would drive down there to do it. Oh,
I'm not sure about Bryce Cherry sitting in with us today, but okay. I guess
Bryce, I didn't think you'd get the invite. I thought about Mosley actually the other day when you got engaged, because I was like, I'm gonna have to bring this up on the show. And if I was engaged and I was on Mosley's show, Mosley would have said something like, thought I would be playing a part in that somehow. I didn't get the heads up that you would be asking this question. I had some advice. Mosley has like a storybook proposal.
He does?
Yeah. He proposed to his wife, now wife of, I don't know, a couple decades, at Times Square, Rockefeller Center, like a week before Christmas, with the Christmas tree up and everything.
He got a little annoyed with me yesterday because I could tell. So he was coming on my show, and I wanted to talk to him about the Super Bowl. And so I had him coming in out of the break, and I'm like, Mosley, it's going to be like a minute. And he's like, we want to lead with that Micah Parsons report. And I'm like, yeah. Like, of course. Like, he's like, yeah, I think your Cowboys contingent would be interested in that. Like, so he was basically like, I'm not going to come on this show as like your boy who's going to talk about Super Bowl commercials. Yeah. Like, I'm Matt Mosley. I'm coming in hot, which I was like, yeah, of course. Like, great job. Yeah. But he's like, yeah, almost like I can't believe you would want to ask me that.
Dude, I got reminded. I thought of this Chicago one, the sports reporters one, because I saw it. They had the clip in it in Hoop Dreams that I watched a couple weeks ago. We talked about, but it's so funny. The guy's like ripping a drag, and then he's like, I just saw the next Isaiah Thomas. Okay. He's playing at St. Joe's just like Isaiah did. His name is William Gates. Remember the name. It's so good, dude. But did you like the Super Bowl commercials? I asked Zach about this yesterday. You don't strike me as a big Super Bowl commercials guy.
No, I am. I mean, I found it, I love the Duncan one, I really do, as much as like he gets like a lot of crap. Like Ben Affleck's awesome. I
think Casey is a really good actor, but
I love Casey.
Problematic, but yeah.
I love Casey Affleck. But my favorite commercial, hands down, was the Harrison Ford commercial. I was like, I just loved it because, and Scotty gave me some even more context yesterday that like Harrison Ford is like a super liberal dude.
Yes.
And the conversation or the commercial was basically like, hey, let's all hang that shit up, or let's ride together. And it was like
they did that with Springsteen a couple years ago.
Yeah, but
it was a little bit more. It was a little more less.
And don't even try that, Cam. I'm stopping that right now. I love Springsteen, but that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that dude's off the deep end, man. I mean, most of them are, but yeah,
a lot of them are, dude, because they don't live in reality.
Yeah.
They don't live in reality. Like me and you.
I thought there was too much. There's too much schmaltz in Super Bowl commercials these days. Like you used to have one or two, and they would be very poignant because of that, because everyone else is going for like slapstick humor. But
yeah,
I think I prefer that model, the one or two with all the slapstick humor around it.
Well, I agree, and I totally agree. The slapstick's the best. Yeah. I was frustrated by, there's certain things, and we learned this in just like broadcasting, and whether you're doing sports broadcasting or calling games, like don't make me work for it, dude. Like nobody knows what Tubi is. Like so the people in the room at Tubi coming up with those like we don't know what the hell that is. I actually do know, because you can watch Beverly Hills 90210 reruns on it, but like most people don't. And so when you're promoting Tubi and it's very vague, it's like, wait, what even is this? Like people walk away like more pissed off at your company than informed. And I think that's a huge mistake.
There was one, God, I can't remember what it was. See, this is the problem. I can't remember what it was actually, but it was like a fucking 40-second commercial. And the whole time it's like this patriotic buildup. And Grace is like, this is Army. It's an Army commercial. It's the military, because that's how Grace watches everything. She just shouts out everything she thinks. It's got to be an Army one. I'm like, shut up. But it ended up being something.
Was it Jesus Saves?
It's like Bounty or something. No, that one from a mile away. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we're getting black and white photos that are clearly staged.
Chrissy's mom, by the way, weighed in, jumped off the top rope and said, it's funny, I didn't see Jesus anywhere in that commercial. I just saw people being nice to each other.
Yeah, dude. I'm a motherfucker who loves Jesus, bro. I don't need a commercial for Jesus, man. I think that's not the point. Like, you know what I mean? In fact, that's exactly what I think. I don't think it's the point to put a commercial in the Super Bowl about like, hey, remember this Jesus guy? Like, who's watching that commercial and being like, oh, you know what? I hate a lot of people, but I guess Jesus didn't. I should hop onto this. HeGetsUs.com.
All that shows is how much money is behind like organized religion. But
that's the problem. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. But Pete, this has been good.
It has been good. One thing I wanted to share with you, because you haven't had me on Locked On Baylor. And I should have had you have me on before the Houston game, because I got a chance to go to the practice, talk to Kelvin Sampson. It was like amazing. I want to say this on your show. Houston's going to the Final Four. They're going to the Final Four. I mean, they're better than they were last year. Fran kept saying it last night, but I thought that before that, he's been saying it all year. So it's not
cool.
But they are so good. They are so good.
I think they're the best top to bottom team in this country.
Dude, and it's like Hoosiers watching them practice. I did get a chance to see them practice last year. They practiced for 2 hours the Friday night before a game, right? And the game on Saturday started at 2. And they showed how to break the press, right? That was like the first thing they did, Kelvin Sampson did. And he's running the practice, 69 years old, like running it, like hardcore. And then all they did was work on defense. And at the end, he huddled everybody around. It's 2 hours. And he's like, notice we didn't have the ball at all. And he's like, we've gotten away from who we are. He's like, we've been shooting the basketball well this year. He goes, but there's not one motherfucker on this team that can go out and get 20 a night and put us on his back. He's like, we're going to win with defense. And it was like, you watch a Kelvin Sampson practice and you think you could walk on for him. And it's like, he's that dude.
Well, that quote that Fran had from Kelvin Sampson last night about practice was hard as hell. Did you hear that one?
No, what did he say? What did he say?
So Fran apparently asked him, he's like, so Kelvin, what about like, how do you bounce back as a coach when you don't have a good practice? And he goes, we never don't have good practices. He's like, we always have good practices. We never have a bad practice. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
That's it, dude. He's the GOAT, and he's one.
Well, I don't think he's the GOAT. I think Mike Krzyzewski.
No. But I want him so bad to win a national championship.
You're part of this issue. You just throw GOAT around.
I know that. I am. I totally.
Like when the Celtics retired Paul Pierce's number, they're like the GOAT. I'm like,
no. I'm part of the problem. But no, I love him, and I hope they get to the Final Four and win a championship.
He deserves one, man. He absolutely deserves one.
Absolutely.
For sure. But yeah, I think they're really good. I think that Houston team's really good. I still really like Tech, and Arizona just beat Tech. I've been sleeping on Arizona.
What about
you get them for a second time this weekend or next week? Sorry.
Well, tonight's game, Arizona at Kansas State, and we were talking about this on our Big 12 call for the show. It's like, okay, like, can Kansas State get in the tournament? Like, what do they have to do? Because if you look at their next 5 games, they're like all winnable. After tonight, their games like they won't be an underdog in any of the games after tonight. Like for the next like week and a half, 2 weeks, it's like, what the hell's happening here?
Tang Gang Kool-Aid, baby. It's hitting.
I have the Tank Time T-shirt. And by the way, speaking of Fran and Rich Hollenberg, I was doing the Colorado game, like getting ready, and Christy texted me that they not only brought up the Armadillo Assassin, but mentioned my name. I'm like, okay, can we please let this go?
I think it's great, man. Kansas State's leaning into it. I think it's awesome.
I'm trying to lean in, but I'm also like, okay.
Like there are going to be, if we haven't, I didn't watch their last home game, but I'll bet there'll be like stuffed armadillos.
Dude, there were the fucking kids.
Come on, man, lean into it. This is like you talking to me. Like fucking just lean into it, man.
I am.
Have fun with it.
It's hard not to be a little insecure about it, but I am
I'm laughing with you for the most part, man. Like
I don't know. There's some assholes out there who.
Well, yeah, of course there are. Of course there are. I want to ask you this. This is important before I get you out of here. Last question. Right. What's your favorite sports conspiracy theory?
Well, I think the 85 draft lottery being rigged.
That's a pretty good one.
It is a great one because that is back in where it was still, I mean, the NBA, like more of a boutique operation at that point in time.
It's totally believable.
Yes.
It's 1,000%. Like the Jordan gambling debts, that's where you lose me a little bit. But the 85 draft one is totally believable. Crazy, but believable.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite because it's very realistic. I think that, you know, the 80s in general were just such a wild time that I believe that is very, very not very likely, but that's my favorite off the top of my head. Yeah.
Great. Pete Souza, 10 a.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live every weekday on YouTube. An extraordinary lead-in to the Cam Show every day on Rogue Media Sports Network. Of course, you'll catch him a lot on ESPN talking about armadillos and assassins as well. Pete, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Cam.
We're going to talk a little Bruins. We're going to do it next on the Cam Show.
Shades is your trusted partner in stage lighting, offering a wide range of high-quality, innovative products since 2015. With designs that cater to all needs, fast delivery, and affordable prices, we provide exceptional customer service to ensure your satisfaction. With warehouses across the globe and sales in over 100 countries, Sheds is quickly becoming one of the most recognized names in the stage lighting industry. Visit shehds.com today to discover top-tier stage lighting solutions and become part of our global network.
Introducing Muc-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Chappellex is a full category shapewear brand dedicated to providing women with exceptional comfort and support. We offer thoughtfully designed solutions that blend style with functionality, empowering women to feel confident and at ease every day. Chappellex is redefining what it means to have a perfect body. Our mission celebrates body positivity, embracing every shape and size, because true beauty lies in authenticity. Visit shapellx.com today and join a movement towards self-love, acceptance, and confidence.
Indulge in Blum's luxurious Lotus flower rolls. The green Lotus roll bursts with a caramel apple flavor, while the blue Lotus roll offers a smooth berry cream sensation. With our Crush for Flavor technology, enjoy an instant burst of natural, intense flavor anytime you desire. Elevate your experience with the finest creations nature has to offer. Explore the full collection at blumleaf.com. That's BLUUMLEAF.com. Blumleaf. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
It's the Cam Show. It's Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Stewart here. Zach Burke keeping us on the air. Zach, can we pull you up for 1 second here? If we could. This is important.
How
okay,
important?
Thank you. I just wanted you to be seen at some point in every show, and we hadn't seen
Thank you. All right.
Having a good day so far?
Yeah, not too bad.
Great. Thank you, Zach. We roll on here on the Cam Show. We love having Zach here. We really do, man. And yesterday we had Zach very involved. I just don't know how much he wants to talk Bruins trade deadline. I know he's got some thoughts, but we need to curtail him. We need to make sure we don't give too much of Zach out there to the world. Yeah. So where am I going with this? Yeah, the trade deadline. So we're in the break now for the NHL. 4 nations face off. I'm big into it. I can't wait for this thing to get going. But the next thing on the horizon is the trade deadline, which comes up 2 weeks after we do the restart. March 7th is when that is. We thought that with this 4 nations break, there might be some deals done before the break. There absolutely was. The Mikko Rantanen one being a huge one. JT Miller going to the Rangers, another big one. And we kind of also see it as, hey, you don't have to wait till the trade deadline to know where your team is at and how this year is going to shake out. We have another barometer here at the 4 nations break, and the Bruins go in not well. They go in with back-to-back losses, both games where they had leads going into the third period. A disaster against Vegas on Saturday that was so predictable. They lose that one late in regulation. They give up the game-winning goal twice in the last 2 minutes. So it's not going well. They're outside of a playoff spot. They're only 2 points back, but they need to leapfrog 2 teams that have games in hand. And there are 2 teams right behind them within 2 points that also have games in hand. Their percentage right now to make the playoffs is under 15%. They are not making the playoffs. So stop with this charade that they're going to be buying at the deadline. And I don't know, I guess, what we want Don Sweeney to say, but for him to go up there in that interview on Wednesday night on ESPN and just be like, oh, well, we'll try to improve our team. It's like, dude, there's no way you're improving this team at the trade deadline. Like, let's be totally honest here. The thing that is your number one need, not even close to a second need, is number one center. You thought you had one in this free agency last summer. You tried to go bargain bin with it. Bargain bin player for less than a bargain bin price at $775 a year to Elias Lindholm. He's a third line center, barely. The guy is much closer to a 40-point player than he is to an 80-point player. And yet you paid him almost $8 million a year. Even with the increased cap in a couple years, that's not going to look good. And so you're not going to get a number one center at the trade deadline. Just not going to happen. Maybe, just maybe, Vancouver is still going in the wrong direction and they listen to some offers for Pettersson. And I would love to have Pettersson on this team for sure, but I just doubt that that's happening. I really doubt that that's happening. So if you are the Bruins, and you are not slated to be a playoff team right now, and there's no move you can make by the trade deadline to become a playoff team and actually improve your roster, then what is the effing point? Sell, sell, sell. You don't have many assets out there. Sell them. I mean, you can get your way into a top 10 pick if you do this thing right. It's probably somewhere between 10 and 12. You know, like it's not there, man. What benefit is this team going to have if you keep Charlie Coyle and Trent Frederick and let them walk away for nothing in the summer? What benefit is this team going to have if you keep, Coyle, Frederick, Brazo, Lindholm, maybe even Geeky, Hampus Lindholm I'm talking about, Carlo? It does nothing. And they actually have some trade value. Carlo's 29. Try trading him when he's 30 after a season like he's just had, and albeit a not very great season last year either. Then try trading him. A mediocre season, a bad season. Oh, yeah, now he's 30 years old. Hampus Lindholm, stock is going to be high. Had a good start to the season. Obviously, the great 22-23, was good in the playoffs last year. Not a bad cap hit, $6.5 million. If you could trade Elias Lindholm too, go right ahead. There's no way you can at $775 a year, but just there's no use in keeping these guys at all. And if you got to fill out your lineup with a couple of fourth liners and Patra and Lysell and Merkulov to end the season, great, because it's not any different than what you have right now. Get some younger bottom six guys and some draft picks. This is not going anywhere. So maybe there was some doubt a week or two ago of what they could be doing at the trade deadline. They weren't going to be big buyers necessarily, but now it's like no question, man, sell it, sell it, sell it. And I don't know if I trust this front office to do that. As we've talked about all season, the Jacobs family cares about one thing and one thing only. They'll tell you it's winning the Stanley Cup, but it's not. It's making the playoffs and getting that extra playoff gate. In fact, that has been the Bruins from day fucking one. Man, day one. Charles Adams, Weston Adams, that's all they cared about, was getting to the playoffs and getting that extra ticket revenue. And it's the same thing 100 years later. Well, if you make they'll throw it under the guise of, well, if you make the playoffs, anything can happen. With this team, it can't. They're not good enough to make anything happen. And if they made the playoffs this year, it would be a mistake. It would set this team back. It would set this franchise back if they made the playoffs. If for some reason they did, am I going to be happy in the moment? Sure, I will, because it's playoff hockey. But if we're talking about the best things for this team and this franchise, this organization, that making the playoffs is not it. It's not it. And you've got all kinds of holes to figure out, man. But you do not have above average NHL players at the center position. You just don't. I'm hoping Patra becomes one of those. I'm hoping he becomes a top six center. I see a blueprint and a vision to where he is that. But Elias Lindholm is not a top six center. Like, that is an all-time bad free agent signing for the Bruins. You paid him almost $8 million a year to come in and be your number one center. And by fucking January, he was your third line center. You have Charlie Coyle playing above him. You have Pavel Zacha playing out of position to play center on the first line. Shit, if you can get something for Zacha, I would entertain those offers too. And I like Zacha in a role he's not playing. I like Zacha as like a third line center. I wish he was a better defensive forward than he is. So I don't know how much you can get for him. He can't really play special teams. And he's not obviously not a high volume scorer or anything. But Hampus Lindholm can play both. Trent Frederick, someone will think, oh, he's gotten in a couple fights this year. Maybe he gives us a little bit of an edge. And you, as Don Sweeney, don't you dare correct them, okay? Don't you say, no, he doesn't bring any muscle whatsoever and doesn't bring any value in 5-on-5 at all. Don't tell him that. Sell, sell, sell. So easy. If the Bruins have the same team they have right now, a month from now, everyone needs to be gone. Everyone in the front office needs to be gone. They need to be gone anyway. Because I was looking at the Jim Montgomery numbers, and the Blues are not a good team. They're below 500, and they got a little bit of a boost the first month or so with Monty. But it hasn't been the same since. And so some Bruins fans would look at that and be like, well, we should have just kept them. And I don't mind Monty, but like that's something that needed to happen. That needed to be the first domino. I said it from the day he got fired. He's not the scapegoat here that he will be for a little bit, but that needs to be the first domino. And so far, that's the only domino that's fallen. I don't care if you trade a core guy, if you get the right deal, and you need to shake up the front office. It hasn't worked the last couple of years, the last 2 years. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And I do not trust the guy in charge and Don Sweeney to do a rebuild for this team. How could you? How could you trust him to do it? And I know Bruins fans don't either. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. We're bringing you fresh Boston sports content every weekday, live at high noon Eastern time for the hour, and then wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you tomorrow on The Cam Show.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internex. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. Enjoy seamless, fast storage without compromising security. Visit Internex.com today and take control of your digital life. That's INTERNXT.com today. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com. Tusains, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.